members of the media, most grateful to you all. I want to make 2 or 3 quick points. First, Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi visited Nepal this time. It was his 3rd visit in 4 years. I hope this underlines to everyone the major importance that he and our government attach to Nepal. We also need to note that the Right Honourable Prime Minister of Nepal was in India just a few weeks before. What has been attempted is to give Nepal-India relations a huge new dynamic to take things forward for exactly as you put it in the seminar's theme, a futuristic perspective. What do we want to do for the future? And I believe that the main thing that we want to do is most beautifully summed up in these catchwords. Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, Samridh Nepal, Khushi Nepali. How do we make these complementary and we ensure that this complementary goes forward for the benefit of our people? After all, Nepal-India relations are quintessentially characterized by people's relations. And we may keep arguing about the depth and the heights, but the fact is that there's almost nowhere else in the world where this kind of uniqueness binds the people. Of course, we are also bound by nature. We are bound by actions of our forefathers, all of which are legacies which we should enhance for the future. You know, I have these wonderful gentlemen standing in front of me, filming me. But I can't therefore see Mr. Anukul Bhatnagar of SBI here. And sir, just a few minutes back, I had a gentleman sitting there right next to you, Mr. Dungana, who's one of the big investors and somebody who brought cafe coffee daily. And I want to tell you something. Let us try and keep ourselves focused from the perspective of those who are going to lead our nations in the future, which is the young generation. Both India and Nepal have one of the highest demographic dividends that anyone has got. All the perspectives and points that we have made here are known to everyone. They are in our pockets. We know what these issues are. In this world, all nations are equal. We are all members of the United Nations. In fact, remember the 1950 treaty between India and Nepal is the first real document recognizing Nepal as an absolute sovereign country. And we have always worked on that. But that's not important. We are looking at the future. What are the key issues of the future? I think everybody has talked about connectivity. I'm very happy to tell you that the integrated checkpost at Birganj and the counterpart in Raxaul side has come into operation. Already, it is doing over 100 to 150 trucks a day throughput. And there are some little infrastructure limitations. Once these are done, the kind of throughput that would be realized to enhance trade will be of a game-changing variety, something which for 100 years has not been attempted on the border of India-Nepal at that crossover point, which is the place where more than 2/3 of trade takes place between these two countries, and this is Nepal's largest trading partner. The Biratnagar ICP is on its way up. The train link to Biratnagar. And I don't know how many of you paid attention to the fact that the first container cargo run to very close to Biratnagar on the Indian side was undertaken just a few weeks back. When we developed the broad gauge railway line to Janakpur, when we develop a few more of these infrastructural inputs, this will be, let me again use this expression which is nowadays very commonly used, game-changing in terms of the economic benefits here in Nepal and in terms of India-Nepal relations. I am very proud that we are moving forward. The Arun 3 project has been noted by everyone, 900 megawatts. It will add as much as Nepal will be producing by the time it comes on to steam. Game-changing once again, not only for the region, not only in terms of electricity production, but in terms of the overall economic strength of Nepal. Lots of people have mentioned Pancheshwar, and I was very happy to hear somebody mentioning that, these riverine projects They need to be taken up on priority. I just want to leave one thought with everyone. We are all experts here on assessing benefits, and we are negotiating the benefits. Has anybody ever assessed what has been the loss of 20 years of not implementing the Mahakali Treaty and Pancheshwar in particular? And let me put this question to you. What has been the relative loss of this to the economy of Nepal? I know what the size of the Indian economy. You, sir, were very kind having drawn this point very, very beautifully across to people. Let me talk to you about the trade deficit. It is our considered belief that we must ease the methodology by which trade can take place. We must do infrastructure. Market access is certainly important, but we need to remember that today the quotas are not really being utilized even. But we are all committed to a comprehensive review, and a review that should be done shortly, and one, if there are any requirements, these will certainly be met. But do remember, the products have to be Nepali products, and they need to get to India where there is a huge market awaiting. Have you noticed that it is your imports which have jumped up? And why have your imports jumped up? It's a matter that should make most of you very happy. The Nepali economy has done well. There is greater consumption which is taking place here, and so you are importing more. Some elements of what used to be produced here is no longer being produced, or the capacities are less, especially agriculture, because people, which is that great resource which goes into agriculture production, are using themselves somewhere else, earning and getting something more. This may be remittances. We can have a long discussion on the utility of that, etc. From a purely economics point, that's a kind of utilization of the human resource. Tourism. I don't know how many of you saw a photograph in almost every newspaper in Nepal today. The black-topped road which links Kagbeni with Muktina. Sir, last year, a bridge which was constructed at Jomsom over the Kali Gandaki with India's partnership with Nepal now provides 12 months of the year, 24/7 connectivity across the Kali Gandaki. Nobody needs to go into the river and then drive up. A few kilometers of the road needs to be done, and I am very happy to say the situation is that you can certainly have breakfast in Jomsom and come back in the evening to Jomsom. I believe if you start a little early, you can have breakfast in Jomsom and come back for lunch to Jomsom. I have no doubt that the Muktinath traffic will pick up, and Prime Minister Modi's visit here, and as he said, he is very happy to have linked these traditional linkages of India and Nepal. Pilgrimage is certainly one of the most important elements to draw younger people in India who are traveling more and more. Tourism, in fact, is one of the world's fastest growing industries and largest industries. And there is no reason why Nepal should not benefit from the huge spurt of outward tourism from India. Similarly, Janakpur, visit puts it on the map, and you will see an increased number of people coming. The bus service is only a manifestation, and it will take off. A few agreements need to be done, and the bus service will soon be there. I am all in all extremely happy that our Prime Minister was welcomed most warmly in your country. Very good discussions with the political leadership, and we are taking things forward in various ways which have not been attempted before. Raxaul Kathmandu is the shortest way from the plains to Kathmandu Valley. Never attempted in the history to build a direct road or a railroad for that. We should do it. It's a dream. Its techno-economic feasibilities will be done, but it's a dream that should be realized because it's good for people on all sides. Inland river waters. India has taken on a mammoth project of developing inland water transport. Several of the rivers are navigable with some degree of dredging, some degree of providing infrastructure, all the way into the border here in Tehran. Can you imagine what it will do to the container transport, which is already facing choke points in Kolkata, in Haldia, etc. And what would it do to the costs of container transportation? It's in fact far more economical than even railway transportation. look at the benefits that accrue to the economy as a result. I want to thank all of you and to you, Dr. Ramcharan Mahat, for having led this discussion and focused us on that element which will bind people, which is economics. This is a very big word, but at the end of the day, it binds us because it involves us on a daily basis. Each and every one of us is linked to that. When we see prosperity, we all feel good. And I am very happy that Nepal is now moving on the path of wealth creation. And I am happy that Indian corporates, Indian companies, and again as I mentioned you, Nepal SBI is one of them, but you mentioned Dabur, I mentioned SJVN, I want to mention the Tatas, the Mahindras, each of our transport companies. We are all invested in Nepal. We need to try and work together, look at these linkages and take them forward. In my simple understanding, both these countries have complementarities which they can only work on to their advantage and make this into a win-win situation. Thank you very much to all of you. Thank you.